Good evening, Wednesday night poetry. It's good to see you again, listen to you again, hear you again. All of those of you who are doing the online portion. It was amazing being there last week in person. Oh my God. But I could spend hours talking about that. I won't do that. I'm here to do a poem. So, uh, I'm going to do a poem this week that was actually in response to a prompt from another poetry group, the Nuyorican online Monday night open mics. But I'm doing this piece because I wrote it while I was on the road last week. I was on a motorcycle poetry road show that led me to Hot Springs, where I got to do my feature in person, which was still amazing and will be amazing for the rest of my life. So here's a piece in response to the prompt from the Nuyorican, but also includes my trip. So I thought I would share it with you. The prompt was, "What is your favorite book?" I'm Propaganda Poet, also known as Bear Wolf, still stuck in the cornfields of the Midwest, but getting out there, and that's the important thing. So here we go. Without further ado, this is. I apologize. It's a little long, about 4.5 minutes, but without further ado, here we go. Favorite book. The host of the show, his moniker is Advocate of Wordz. Man, you're supposed to be an advocate of words. You know there ain't no such thing as a favorite book. The first book I ever read was Charlotte's Web, and it taught me more about love and acceptance than the American school indoctrination system ever would. And the Incredible Hulk encouraged me not to sulk, but to rage, rage, rage before I even knew that my light was dying. Judy Blume taught me not to assume that a fourth grade nothing couldn't just find the courage to become something. The Giver gave me more than this world could ever take by illustrating just how much of a mistake it would be to live without music, art, and poetry. And that was just before I really started this journey in junior high, where Stephen King and I became a daily thing. While everyone else was talking about rings and lords, the gunslinger took me on a true hero's journey. He knew that he was meant to lose, but still he would choose the drawing of the three so that he could travel through wastelands and continually risk everyone's ass just to find wizard and glass. Until I read The Crow, I didn't know what true love truly was. My high school years brought plenty of tears, but it turned out all right, as Mike Grell showed me Green Lantern's light. And with every green arrow the longbow hunter shot, I knew that someday I would get my own shot at making something in this world right again. Like a super soldier, I discovered the real truth when Black Lightning fought the powers that be, and the Falcon was always more than just a token sidekick to me. But my eyes were truly opened in my senior year. That was before civics class became a Republican fear. I had a teacher that truly inspired me to inspire others. When one flew over the cuckoo's nest, I immediately thought that that was the best. But then the Tao of Pooh helped me to figure out what I needed to do. And the jungle and animal farm really made me feel why I should do no harm. And I was shown our true fate with the people's history of the United States, and miseducation of the Negro showed me that this system has got to go. And I will never forget the ultimate regret when Johnny got his gun. A break from structured education took me to places beyond description, where I met 9 princes in amber, which of course led me to a Game of Thrones. But after having to wade through a storm of swords just to dance with dragons, I had to move on to something a bit more substantial. Then Garth Ennis showed me the depths of then Garth Ennis enlightened me to the depths of religion as the preacher went on a quest to make God accountable. And the Chronicles of Wormwood would suggest that Christianity was really just the devil's jest. And while that's all well and good in a fictitious sense, it wasn't until biblical scholar Bart Ehrman turned agnostic by his own research that I saw just how wrongly they were misquoting Jesus. And Holy Blood, Holy Grail revealed the actual historical tales that led to Da Vinci's Code, but it was the unlikely tale of Scott Douglas that showed me that we are all God's debris. In college, I was fortunate enough to find true knowledge. No, really, I know it's hard to believe, but because of teachers who were actually there to teach, there were many important lessons I received. A Handmaid's Tale gave a veiled warning about a future that we might just be living today. But I was brought to Shaman's tears because Black Elk speaks, and a noble red man gave me a spiritual lessons to keep when I spent a summer of spiders watching the Lone Ranger and Tonto fist fight in heaven. Red Earth, White Lies really opened my eyes to just how far this system will go to falsely prove its own lies. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee had a lot more to teach me about the past being more than just a warning. And recently, I took a motorcycle poetry roadshow journey with 2,000 miles of cauldrons, every day a new incantation with a magical mixture of poetry potions put together by K.R. Morrison. And I still have yet to choose where to start. Incandescent, Wingspan, or a periscope heart. Or perhaps I should listen to the sounds of silhouette. It's like literary roulette that I can never lose when Kai Kagan's poetry is my sister muse. And without a doubt, I have to shout out, give me Timothy more of them urban thoughts to help open up our blind third eyes. And speaking of more, be Charisse more, I promise to holla when I finally read Dr. Marvelous Jin's Odd Scholars. So as you can see, choosing a favorite would be hella difficult to conceive. I mean, like the ebb and flow of Nero, I still have so many books to read. I mean, I have yet to have conversations with grief, and love letters to Gaia, I'm sure will be full of fire, and I am certain that Black Calculus will show me equations that lead to light, shadow, life, and I still need to see the joy that can be found by a disappearing boy. And when I travel to 3 Mile Harbor, I'm sure it'll help me see just how much this is all calamity. And I cannot wait to rage with Jane and speak words against the machine. So you see what I mean? How can I choose a favorite book when I still need to look to all of you in this community? Artists, writers, poets, dancers, musicians, filmmakers, actors, especially those of you that I may not have yet to read and be. I can never thank you all enough for giving me these adventures and showing me where to go. Even beyond the titles that I already know, there is still so much left to grow. And mad respect to all of you for helping me to do so. Thank you for encouraging my behavior. Thank you for making the world a better place. Until next time, my sweet poets.